Hello everyone, I'm Professor Capko, and today I'm going to show you the three most common errors that people make with exponents. You are going to want to avoid these errors if you want to succeed at working with powers or exponents. All right, so let's talk about the first one, but before we do, I wanted to mention that I think something great's going to happen for you today. Let's talk about the first one. Let's get our definitions correct first of all. This whole thing is known as a power, so this would be 2 raised to the third power. The bottom here, this big number, that is known as the base, and the number up here is known as the exponent. And one big mistake I see folks make is they'll just take the exponent and multiply it by the base. They'll just say 2 times 3, which is 6. This is incorrect. That is not the way you do it. This exponent is telling you how many times to multiply the base times itself. So in this case, we've got a 3 is our exponent. That is telling us to multiply our base by itself 3 times. So in reality, what we have here is 2 times 2 times 2. And we know that 2 times 2 is 4, and 4 times 2 is 8. So the correct answer to 2 raised to the third power is 8. Let's look at another example of the same thing. We've got 5 raised to the fifth power. Again, I've seen students that would just do 5 times 5 equals 25, and that, of course, you know now, is wrong. Don't make that mistake. This is telling you what? Put it in the comments if you know what this is actually telling you. That's right. This is telling you to go 5 times 5 times 5 times 5 times 5. So it's 5 times itself 5 times. So we can use a calculator if you wanted to help you out. So 5 times 5, 3, 4, and 5. And that is equal to 3,125. Of course, we have a button on the calculator that will make it easier. On this particular calculator, it is this button here. So we can type in, let's clear our work here, and we can just type in 5. We hit the 5, and then I hit this number, that button right there, and that's where we put in the exponent, in this case a 5, and then I just simply hit the equal button, and that gives us that same 3,125. So hopefully you won't make that first error. Let's talk about the next error. So this one involves an exponent and a variable. And I'll see students get excited about this, and they'll say, oh, I know how to do that. I can use the calculator even. And I know that 2 raised to the fourth power, I just put in the 2 and I raise it to the fourth power. And this is where you're using a new tool and you're not thinking it through, and then you got x to the fourth power. This, again, is not correct. Do you know why? Because this exponent is only raising the base of x. It's only raising its base right there. It is not raising the 2. So the correct answer to 2x to the fourth power is 2x to the fourth power, because we can't do anything else. This is just x times itself 4 times, and this is called a coefficient. A coefficient, it is in front of the variable here, and it is not raised. But Professor Capko, what if I wanted to raise the x and the 2 to the fourth power? Well, that's certainly fine. You would just have to use some parentheses. You would do 2x and close off the parentheses and raise the whole thing to the fourth power. In that case, that's the equivalent of 2x times 2x and we're going to do it 4 times 2x and 2x multiplied, and we'd multiply the 2's out, and we already know that that's 16, and x times x times x times x is x to the 4th. And that is how you would show it if you wanted the 2, which is the coefficient, if you want that raised to the power as well. So far, so good. If you're finding some value in this, it would really help me out if you power up that like button and click it, and it helps me and it helps others defeat the YouTube algorithm. So let's look at the third example. We've got -3 raised to the second power. So I see students all the time write that, well, 3 times 3 is 9. So, but -3 times -3, so they go -3 times -3, and they say, well, negative times a negative is a positive, and 3 times 3 is 9. And they say, there I am, positive 9 is the answer. Do you think that's right? Put it in the comments if you think it's right. You're correct, it is wrong. This is not the way you do this one. And positive 9 is the incorrect answer. This, again, is we call that the base. 3 is the base, 2 is the exponent, and the negative in front is the coefficient. Think of it as -1 times 3 raised to the squared power. You can say squared in this case because it's a 2. So in this case, it would be the 3 times 3 is 9, so it's equal to -1 times 9, which is equal to -9. -9 is the correct answer for this one. I know, it's crazy. It seems completely wrong. But yes, -3 raised to the second power is -9. Well, what about this scenario up here where we got negative times a negative? Well, again, we're raising the 3 only, so that's a positive times a positive, which gives us a positive result that we multiply by the negative, which gives us the negative result. But if I wanted the -3 raised to the square power, then again, I would employ, just like above, parentheses. So you would see it written as -3, close the parentheses, squared. Now, because the parentheses are here, that is the equivalent of -3 times -3. And of course, you've got a negative times a negative is always going to be a positive, and 3 times 3 is 9. So if you see it in parentheses, then the negative is also being raised to this power. If not, then that is treated as a coefficient. Don't blame me. I'm just the messenger. I didn't invent this. I'm just warning you about it. So this is probably the trickiest one of all, and I would make sure that you know this. Now, you know some of the tricks that can be pulled on people with the exponents, and you're getting better at it. But if you want to know more, I would subscribe and click that notification bell so you know when another video comes out. If you have additional questions, please put them in the comments. If you want me to make a video on a particular type of problem, the comments is the place to put it. I'd read all those comments, and I do the best I can responding to them. So until next time, keep your grade alive and subscribe. Thank you.